Hello, everybody. This is Mike Hoffman, the president of Arizona Benefit Plans. I wanted to take about 20 minutes today and talk about the value proposition that Truveris, a vendor of Arizona Benefit Plans, brings to the table. We think that the technology and the capabilities of the Truveris platform can really do some great things as you begin to evaluate on your larger cases the PBM positioning, both from a cost and a contract basis. So what we wanted to do for the next 15, 20 minutes is kind of talk to you about the practice partnership that Truveris brings to the table, what the value proposition is, and and why it may fit as you evaluate in your self-funded cases the PBM component of the benefit plan. So Brian Tenike is the channel partner manager for Truveris. He's going to do the presentation, but we're also supported here in Arizona by Shane Uri. Shane is the regional vice president of sales. He and Arizona Benefit Plans have a great relationship, and we would be working with you, with both Shane and our team here at Arizona Benefit Plans. So without any further delay, Brian, why don't I let you jump in? Brian, by the way, from a qualification standpoint, has been in the pharmacy business for over 10 years. Again, as I said, he's the channel partner manager, and has served both on the payer side of the PBM business as well as the life science side. So Brian brings a lot of qualification, and I'm going to let Brian take it from there. Brian?
Perfect, Mike. Thanks so much for that introduction. And just really excited to be with you guys and to bring a little bit of insight into who is Truveris, how do we support the broker channel partnerships, and then what can we bring into the self-funded groups into the plan side. As Mike said, I've been in the PBM space over 10 plus years, spanning not only in the payer markets with plans, but into the life science. And they really do bring the whole pharmacy ecosystem together, everything from manufacturer all the way down to the plan and the individual person getting a prescription drug. There's a lot that goes on between there. And hopefully what you can see today is from Truveris, we bring a lot of insight into this black box world and just bring some open insight into the broker channel world. So as you can see on the screen, our focus really is to help drive cost containment savings. We're going to cut costs, but the main focus you're going to hear out through our theme is without cutting benefits. It can be done. So Truveris has really brought in some tech-enabled solutions into the space to help drive reduction, but not your benefits. As a quick backdrop, what you'll see is why Truveris. We have been around for 10 plus years now. We are private investor owned right now through venture capitalists. That'll play a key role as our discussion unfolds today. What that really means is we are not owned by any PBM, any coalition, or any carrier. And I think that's a big, unique benefactor in the marketplace, really, when it comes down to being unbiased in this space. We have no ties, invested interest where we move groups or if they stay. So keep that in mind as we go through the process today. My main focus as we get done here is to get enough information in your hands, schedule some individual appointments with each firm so we can dive deeper into your practice. So why Truveris? Our mission is to make the prescription drug more affordable and accessible to everyone. We truly have a large goal within the company to align the pharmacy market space to drive prescriptions. We take a competitive approach, whether you're with a carrier, a coalition, or a PBM. We really want to help push the current incumbents, whoever's supporting your group's plans, to put a better offer on the table, but also to bring a wide net to say, what's the marketplace look like? How is our pricing stacked up out there? Most folks probably listening to this are in the broker space, and we really want you guys to do a due service to your plans to say we're not going to take renewal offers. Let's take a look at the whole ecosystem in the marketplace out there. So when it comes to the payers, who does Truveris support out there? Our main focus is to work with self-insured employers. We work with government employers, so we have supported a lot of procurement RFPs from the city level, the county level, as well as a full state level. So keep that in mind. We play very well in the municipality space. We also support many unions out there, and we have run oversight and analytics for health plans as well. If you look at the PBM market space, there's really no PBM or carrier that Truveris can't work with. We have partnered and ran procurement exercises with participating PBMs, over 40 of them to date. We have no hidden compensation when it comes to our procurement analytics. So meaning our fees are fully disclosed, and probably over 95% of the time, our fees are underwritten and paid by the PBMs and carriers out there. So we can always get you some more information on that. But as you'll see, we really promoted transparency in this pharmacy space. So our fees are fully disclosed. Any savings that we talk about today will be net of the Truveris fees. We are not a coalition, as we mentioned, so we are not aligned with any coalition PBM or carrier. And we're going to bring a really deep objective data and analytics oversight into our, that we're going to bring out to your plans. Truveris has a proprietary digital operating system. We built a very sophisticated, probably one of the closest PBM adjudication platforms that sits outside of a PBM. So we really want to bring exceptional buying power and managing of the pharmacy benefits to your plans out there. So everything you're going to need to be effectively monitor, measure, and manage the benefit. On the right side of the screen, you're going to really see a life cycle of a contract. So when you look at driving down your benefit cost, Truveris can assist through our tech-enabled platforms on the procurement. We can help run an RFP. We'll talk a little further in detail about that here in a moment, where Truveris does all the heavy lifting. We can procure and drive the best savings out there in the marketplace for your group and really showcase how is your current provider stacking up to them. When it comes to contracting, these contracts get very complex. We've got PBM attorneys on staff. We've got experts from a clinical perspective, as well as deep insights into contracting and underwriting. So we can really look at these pitfalls of a contract to say, how is your contract stacked up? Are there things that your group could potentially get that they're not currently being provided in their contract? Should your plan decide to move into a new PBM or carrier, we can also support implementation. As of today, a lot of the PBMs, they will drive the implementation, but now you have a third-party independent company on the back end that's going to help ensure that all the pricing components that were agreed to in the contract are going to make it into this contract. And we can validate those things prior to your plan signing off on the contract. And then oversight is going to be a big topic that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes, where we can get a great contract and great pricing for your group. But how do we know all these contract terms are being upheld? Well, Truveris built a really deep analytics engine that we can now ingest claims data from your plan, and we can have oversight into your contract to make sure all those pricing components, rebates are being validated. And then once the group is live, we can really help with optimization. We can provide some clinical support out there to make sure that all the plans, choices, and clinical programs have been set up properly. So hopefully you can see from this picture, we bring the full life cycle when it comes into a pharmacy contract. We're going to look at this through data, plan-specific action insights. A key component is Truveris. We'll look at every single claim. We base all of our repricing exercise on 100% claims repricing down to the NDC level. So pretty unique in the industry. And it's an end-to-end process driven by technology and the pharmacy experts out there. So how do we look at PBM cost containment? We have a suite of solutions. On the left side in procurement, we have two technology platforms that we've built that are proprietary inside of Truveris. Data does not leave Truveris, it all stays in-house. So on TrueBid, this is our reverse auction RFP. It's going to drive competitive pricing among multitude of bidders. This is a custom reverse auction RFP. Typically, we'll get into some details, but we'll talk about this as for probably plans around 1,500 to 2,000 members, or around 750 to 1,000 employees. At this point, we really feel like groups can go out and get a custom RFP and strong contractual setups. For any groups that are around, I would probably say 1,500 covered members, belly buttons, and below the small to mid-market, we've built TrueBid Express. It's an online marketplace that has over 10 plus PBMs and coalitions already pricing built into our platform. And we can ingest claims data to do a repricing exercise, pretty turnkey for you. In about 2 weeks time frame, we can showcase what the market's bringing out to those groups, even in the small to mid-sized groups. And then the oversight you're going to see is once we do procurements, now we want to talk about oversight. So this is an ongoing monitoring of the PBM's performance and the contract compliance out there. This will really showcase is, again, if you have a contract and great pricing, is it being adhered to? Truveris can now bring that oversight. And then post that, we've got plan analytics and insights where we can bring some of our clinical expertise, uncover additional cost savings and opportunities, and then validate the PBM's programs that are being set up. So let's take a little deeper dive into procurement process, focusing on true bid. Again, this will, just to reiterate, this is for probably groups around 1,500 members, total belly buttons, to around 2,000 and above. There's no data limits that we can handle. We're definitely scalable. We've worked with groups at around 700,000 lives, and so we can support anything in between there. This is our exclusive enterprise platform. In 2019, we averaged a 20% average expected savings through the true bid process. So let's walk through how the process works. Once engaged with Truveris, from your perspective as a benefit broker, we will custom build an RFP for your specific group with this platform. Very little work is on the broker's part. We pretty much need, between the plan and the broker, a kickoff call to really walk through any objectives the plan has. And we will then open up our portal to the selected PBMs for this. Now, keep in mind, anytime you're with an incumbent, whether it's a carrier, a carved-in model, or a standalone PBM or coalition, we would like to invite them to bid as well. This will give you as a broker a lot of opportunity to bring solutions, not only to see what the market looks like if they move, but how can we drive better savings for the current provider? We often say as a broker in your space out there is many people will just take a renewal offer, say 3.5% just to stay for one more year. At Truveris, we're really saying if you haven't taken your group out to bid in multiple years, at least 3 years, they need to go out and see what the marketplace is. Pricing, it keeps changing every year and it's probably stale. So let's get the best pricing that the market's demanding right now. So once we launch an RFP, Truveris will open our portal to the selected PBMs that we want in this bid based upon your recommendations and ours. They will sign a bid participation agreement, agreeing to underwrite the Truveris fees, and they will pay Truveris on the back end if they win the business. The PBMs will have to go in and answer over 500 plus questions. These questions ultimately become the contract. They are accept and decline, meaning will they allow for a market check for your group? Do they allow for offsetting? Is there an early termination penalty? Can we get that? These are accept and decline that the PBMs are going to answer the questions, along with they're going to upload their pricing offer into our platform. We will re-adjudicate 100% of the claims in this process, and we will close off the first round of bidding, and we're going to bring the plan and the broker back into the conversation to review all the round one results. Key point to remember is the PBMs do not get to see what the other PBMs are soliciting. This is a blinded auction for the PBMs. The plan and the broker and Truveris get to see all the deep dive information on the back end. You have full visibility. We're going to take a look at how did they score financially. You can see in the grid there's a bid quality score. That is how do they score out the terms. The bid financial scores is how do they stack up with the other bidders when it comes to the financials out there. From round one, we will then probably remove 2 or 3 PBMs and bring 2 or 3 on into second round. We will open our portal back up. The PBMs will go out, go through all those questions again, hopefully accept some more of these terms that we requested, and then they're going to sharpen their pencil on pricing. We will close the round 2 bidding out after a couple of weeks of allowing the PBMs to work in the system. We will come back for the final round and review all the scores again, who sharpened their pencil on pricing. What you can see across the grid on the bottom is this is an apples to apples comparison. We do not want bidders putting closed formularies against open versus value. One thing you'll see is we want apples to apples. In this scenario, everybody was bidding on a traditional pricing. Everybody offered a closed formulary. So again, no games are being played in the back end. We're holding them accountable to making this a fair bid. At the end of this bid, we awarded the contract out to PBM number 1 for 26.91% savings. Now, not every winning bid has the best savings. Some folks will give up some savings if there's less disruption. So we're going to look at disruption when it comes to formularies. We're going to look at disruption when it comes to your networks as far as retail. But then also nowadays, with a crazy 2020, many people are looking for savings out there if their businesses have been closed for a short amount of time. So we will ultimately drive savings, but we want to look at disruption for the memberships as well too. So once this business is awarded, if it stays with the current provider, it's very low maintenance work there. We will get a new contract. Truveris will then receive that contract before the client signs off on it, and we'll have our PBM attorneys walk through any of the contractual terms to make sure that they made it from the bid into the contract. Very little work. We need probably 4 to 6 hours worth of time from the broker's perspective to run a full RFP. So hopefully that makes many people listen to this smile, because we've really moved this away from a spreadsheet, and we're going to let technology do the work. So shifting gears to TrueBit Express. This will be for the small to mid-market groups out there, roughly 500 lives, covered members, and below. We have built the marketplace. So we've got 10 plus PBMs and coalitions already priced on the platform. That pricing is refreshed twice a year. What we need from the broker is 12 months of claims data from the incumbent, and then we are going to grab a little bit of information about the group. We will reprice 100% of those claims in that file to take a look at what opportunity does your group have out in the market. Maybe it's a coalition option, maybe it's a direct PBM deal, but we've already negotiated these contracts. Along those lines, we will like to invite the incumbent into the bidding process as well, whether it's a carved-in carrier or a standalone PBM. Let's put them in the bid and make them earn your group's business. Real life example, we had a carrier with a 3.5% renewal offer on the table with a group, the plan, small manufacturing company. We said, we're not going to take your renewal offer. You're going to join this TrueBit Express procurement opportunity. They had to submit new pricing to Truveris in order to keep this business. And after we did the repricing exercise, we drove 13.5% savings with the current carriers model. So that was a 10+% savings just by not taking a renewal offer, but putting them into a competitive bid. We get excited about this because there's been many of the carriers and PBMs they love taking renewals. We're saying let's drive them through a marketplace opportunity. As you can see on the screen, a lot of savings out there with the winning PBM number one, over 21.3% savings to the tune of about $1.2 million in savings. We're excited about this. This is real dollars that can be put back into employee bonuses, new shop equipment, things like that. So once we've done procurement, whether it's a large group or small group, you've got this great contract and you've got a great pricing and you're excited. The question is post implementation, how do you know that that contract's being upheld for the next 3 years? This is a question that every HR benefit manager and CFO wrestle with. They rely on the PBMs and carriers to send them an 80-page report to digest this information. With Truveris, you've got a third-party independent company that's now going to be watching this once the new contract goes live for 3 years. It's actionable intelligence that keeps you a step ahead of the proactively managing your pharmacy costs. This technology is combined with our expertise. So not only will our technology reprice this, we have clinical pharmacists on the back end, we've got our underwriters, and we've got legal folks that can review these results to make sure that they're valid and what story can we tell with this data. So a few things we'll look at is discount pricing. What will happen is we'll take the claims data from your group. That's going to come into Truveris. In one hand, we're going to reprice all those claims on a quarterly basis. And on the other hand, we've got a copy of your current contract. We're going to make sure that all the pricing that was agreed to in the contract is being met once we do the repricing exercise. We're going to look at for setup errors. Were drugs properly loaded from the PBM? Are they getting the proper discounts? We're going to look at validating their PBM's utilization reports out there. Are your guarantees being met? And then are the rebates meeting up what the contract says? Real life example, we sat down with the CFO. After showcasing TrueGuard to him, he said, Brian, I get a $40,000 rebate check every quarter and we're super excited. After seeing this, I don't know if that $40,000 should have been a $60,000 or $70,000 check. We have no way of validating it. We truly are just taking the PBM's word for it. So Truveris won the 2019 PBMI Cost Containment Award for this reporting. It really has opened up the black box in this carrier space that we can really validate. I got a great contract. Is it actually being performed? So a couple savings samples down here. These are true case studies of some of the clients that Truveris has supported with TrueGuard. We had a marketing firm that had 3,000 lives. There was an error in the ingredient cost to the tune of identifying $38,000, which was paid back to the plan. We had an investment bank client with 85,000 lives. They had a financial guarantee error in their contract from what we repriced. That was to the tune of $1.1 million, again, paid back to this client. Super thrilled that this was identified. Had we not been there, probably never gets caught. And then on the large state, 700,000 lives, they had a drug classification error. That error was to the tune of $4.6 million. Significant dollars out there. Again, that would never probably have been found had we not been doing this oversight and analytics out there. So whether it's a small client of 700,000 lives or below 3,000 lives, any of these errors are real setup errors. I will give you one more example. Is we had a large PBM that they had a drug that was supposed to be getting an 18% discount. They were actually getting 15. We caught this error in Q1 of a 3-year contract, and it was an $8,000 mistake. The plan said, well, that's not too bad, $8,000. Well, over a 3-year contract, it was over a $100,000 mistake. Again, we contacted the PBM, notified them of this error. They made the correction, and now going forward in the contract, we have not had any other issues since we caught it early on. So oversight, we have become the watchdog for your plan. It's a great way to talk to your board to say, hey, we do have oversight on one of our biggest spends out there. So we help you succeed. As a brokerage firm, we also want to help you grow your clients. How can we help you prospect and grow your pipeline out there? So how can we showcase? We have tools that we can bring you new broker of record. Buy out contract report cards, a great example. Can we get a contract from your prospect client and we can score it out on some key terms? We can also showcase some case studies of some real RFPs that we ran and oversights to bring value into the plans. We're happy to support on a broker event for your clients and prospects. We've been very successful with this, of showcasing some of the things that we just talked about. How can that benefit to your plans and potential prospects? Why do they need to come work with you? And then meeting support. We're always happy to join your client calls. You guys, as a brokerage firms, are in many lines of insurance. Pharmacy is a very complex space. You don't have to go at it alone. We're happy to join your plans and help walk through some of these results when it comes to pharmacy. When it comes to retaining your book of business, we want to be your pharmacy partner. We'll be the back-end engine, your analytics, but we'll also be on the forefront as much as you need us out there. The contract oversight, we're going to bring that to your groups. That's going to be a huge benefits to your plans out there. Most people, if you want a differentiator, is the contract oversight when it comes to TrueGuard. Many plans out there we have never had oversight. It'll be a big differentiator for you and your firm. The ongoing claims review, again, big differentiator out there. How do we bring that and validate that contract? We got clinical expertise. We can help increase savings on your renewals and get that best value of the contract out there. So education, we want to bring some industry insights into your firm. Pipeline updates, what's happening in the drug process out there. If you listen to our PBM 101 presentation, you'll find out that the pipeline is always changing. What can we help bring that education to your firm? The PBM contracting will lend you expertise and give you an overview. Another PBM, kind of a marketing 101 education series. And then the how's the market being consolidated down. White papers, legislative updates. This is what we do day in, day out. We eat, breathe, and sleep pharmacy. So let us bring some of this insight into your firm. So I'll wrap up as how do you get started? We're very gracious that Mike brought us into this conversation. We would love to schedule an education session with Truveris for your firm specific. We'll take a deeper dive than what you saw here today and really lend to look at your book of business to say, what's the makeup? Is it manufacturing? Is it municipalities? We can really custom tailor some solutions for your firm specific, and then review how Truveris can assist with your self-funded plans. Planning is going to be a big thing. I will say we want to definitely jump in and plan for 2021. How can we drive savings and oversight for your group? It's a misconception a lot of times is if you have a 1-1 group that you can start working on these in September. But what we often find is PBMs, if you want to make a move, need decisions 90 days before your plan goes live. So from there, Truveris can back out a timeline for every single one of your group to say, when do we need to engage? For your larger groups that are over that 1,500 up, plus range that run a true bid, we need to be engaged right now in Q4 of 2020, going into Q1 of 2021. So we'd love to get engaged with your firm at this point. Look through your book to say, who are you going to tackle in 2021? How can we assist and what the timeline looks like for each of those groups? Let us take that burden off your plate. I think what you'll see is we can build out a nice pipeline for you and your firm going into next year. So we're very organized. Who do we need to engage with you? What education does that firm need to talk about going to RFP, and we're happy to do that. So with that, I wanted to keep this overview brief, but again, let's schedule some time. I will point you back to Mike and engage with Arizona Benefit Plan. We do have regional support out in Arizona, and we'll dive in and really drive some savings and oversights into 2021. So with that, I want to thank Mike for inviting us for this conversation. Mike, I will kick it back over to you for any wrap-up thoughts and comments, and we look forward to working with all your firms out there.
Yeah, Brian, thanks. And I will tell you all that are watching this, we have a bit of a check sheet, an intake sheet that we can send you as you start to think about Truveris and kind of prepping for bringing them in to look at a bid. So that's available through our sales reps here at Arizona Benefit Plans. You can certainly reach us at 602-249-2030 or an email to your sales rep. So again, with that in mind, we certainly would think that the Truveris value proposition probably can play in many of your practices. We think that that just how Truveris gets at the process and the technology is outstanding, which is why we've entered into a relationship with them. So again, thanks for watching this. We stand ready to help you. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks.